Hello everyone, my name is Larry and I have solved the theory of everything. In this new theory, I also created a new model of the atom, and this is what that model would look like. Here in the center of the atom we have a particle of matter. It's one single particle, and it determines the atom's DNA, how many lines of force the atom would have. It also creates a north and a south pole. This is done by these lines of force. These are the same lines of force that you'd find on a bar magnet. However, these are, say, predetermined by this particle of matter where they're going to be. They stay in the same position for every element. Each element has a different number of these lines of force. However, in this one, we only just see these four. And this would also have an atomic weight of 4, which isn't very much, makes it light, but, atoms have many lines of force. Exactly how many, who knows, it varies, but it really doesn't matter. An atom is a magnetic dipole. And what creates this dipole are magnetic monopoles. Now here we have our two magnetic monopoles, a north and a south, represented by the south being white and the north, of course, being black. And this area around the magnetic monopole is its attractive force. Now the closer you get to the monopole, or its center, this attractive force becomes slightly weaker than it is out here. Our sun actually does the same thing. If this were the sun and this is a corona, it would be much hotter out here than it would be on its surface. The monopoles are no different. They do exactly the same thing, but on a much smaller scale. See, here is our north monopole, and this circle around here is the region where it becomes weaker than the outside. Here is a south monopole. Its attractive force is much greater than this one right next to it, because the one next to it is inside that, say, that weak zone. Now over here is how it's able to create perpetual motion. It works just like a linear motor would work, under the same principle. This monopole here has a stronger attraction between these two than this one, which is right next to the other one. So it just wants to push that one out of the way, and along comes another one. And here is the north monopoles. They do the same thing. And that's where you get your perpetual motion. Now here's another model of the atom. It's of course a cutaway. Only one magnetic line of force is shown. But each line of force, magnetic line of force, has a north monopole and a south moving opposite of each other. Here the north monopoles are moving clockwise, the south are counterclockwise. It's this movement of monopoles that creates the south pole and the north pole. This happens with every dipole. Even the atom itself is a dipole, and of course they all work the same way. It's the perpetual motion of these monopoles, not to be confused with the perpetual motion machines you see on the internet that supposedly run your house for free and all that. They don't exist. But this form of perpetual motion does, because you can see the end result. Now here we see two different atoms or elements, and of course it's also a cutaway with the electromagnetic spectrum in the middle to give it a comparison. Here is the weak line of force that creates magnetic objects like bar magnets or ferrous materials. That line of force extends beyond the electromagnetic spectrum. Here, the closest to the core, or the particle of matter, is your gamma rays. Then further out is your X-rays, light, micro, and radio waves. The stronger they are, the closer they're going to be. Anyway, here we have 3 lines of force in the light spectrum. Now, when, say, sunlight strikes this object, it's going to absorb these 3 lines of force. That would be the same as the absorption you would see on your, say, a spectrum analysis of something. This would be the same thing. And you would see that as 3 different colors, or the combination of those 3. And on this element here, doesn't have those lines of force in that light spectrum. So when light passes into it, it has nothing to reflect on it. It's going to be, it'll be a transparent object. Say if this were like glass, for example, you would simply pass right through and offer no resistance to light whatsoever, because light itself does not slow down as it passes through glass. That'll also be a topic for another video. But anyway, that's the new model of the atom in a nutshell. I can get far more in depth, but that'll be it for another time. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.